Hello, my name is George Lanier, and I am the inventor of the Chexagon board and games, the checkerboard for the 21st century and beyond. I'm here today because I want to invite you into my home to show you about Chexagon. More importantly, I want to invite Chexagon into your home and into every classroom and school in this country. I actually believe that Chexagon is going to become a worldwide phenomenon, and it's going to start here. So, I'm going to show you how to play 4 of its basic games. 2 of them are traditional games, checkers and chess. The other 2 games have been created by this new checkerboard technology, and these are the games of connection and gammon. So, let's take a little time. I want to introduce them to you. I'm going to do tutorials so that you can see what's really going on. Checkers for the 21st century and beyond. Welcome to the time of Chexagon. Today I'm going to do a tutorial for you on how to play the game called Gammon on the Chexagon board. The Chexagon board is the new checkerboard for the 21st century and beyond. It is developed with new checkerboard technology for new games. So let's get started. Now, let's play the game of Gammon on the Chexagon board. This is a variation of the game known as Backgammon. So the first thing we're going to do is to turn the board to the playing position, which is the diamond position. And you're going to take all of your pieces and you're going to put them on rows 1 through 5, 6 through 12, and 13, 14, and 15. You're going to move your pieces slightly to the right so that you can see your numbers. This is especially a counting game where you're learning how to use all of your math factors. And we're going to set up red the same way on the opposite end. The object of the game is to remove all of your pieces from the board before your opponent by the roll of the tumblers. The tumblers are 8-sided. They have numbers 1 through 8 on all sides. So the way I'm going to show you how to play Gammon is to actually play a game and use the example of the game to show you all of your moves. But remember, your basic moves are, you can have a move of number recognition, which means whatever is on the tumbler is the number you remove from the board. Or if it's an open space, when a space finally becomes open, you can move a piece to that space. And all of your moves are going to be based on math of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and or division. But you can only make one option each move. So, we're going to roll a tumbler for red, which is 2. We'll roll a tumbler for blue, which is 3. So blue goes first and can actually take that move. So number recognition would mean I can remove the 2 from the board and the 3 from the board, because early learners can acknowledge that that's a 2 and that's a 3, and they remove them from the 2 and the 3 on the board. Now, another option is to remove the 5, because 3 plus 2 equals 5. You remove 5 from the board. You do an addition, that's the whole move. Or you can do multiplication. 2 times 3 equals 6, so you can remove 6 from the board. You may ask, why take all of the options if you can just simply take 2 pieces off the board with 1 roll? Well, you have to remove pieces from 13 and 15 down into 6 through 12 and then 1 through 5 to get them off the board, unless you make a roll that equals 15, which is not easy to do. So you need to know how to take all of your combinations at any one time to remove pieces from the board. Now, because blue won that roll, blue is going to take the 2 and the 3 off the board, and now it's red's roll. Red will take, and there's a 1 and a 2. So again, the options are 1 plus 2 equals 3. Red could take 3 from the board. It could take 1 and 2 from the board as number recognition. The multiplication and division doesn't help much because again, you're only going to take 1 piece off. Initial moves are, an initial move is always take as many pieces off the board as you can. That's always a good move. Now, blue rolls again. Blue rolls a 1 and an 8, and it's going to take the 8 from the board. Number recognition, it's going to take the 1 from the board. Red's move. Red rolls a 2 and an 8. There's nothing on the 2, which is an open space. You can move any piece to the 2 and take off the 8. So I'm going to move 14 to the 2 because it's an open space and it's the same as the 2. And it has an 8 move left. I take the 8 from the board. That's the total of its moves. Blue rolls. Blue rolls a 7 and a 4. Blue is going to take the 4 off and it's going to take the 7 off. It could have taken off the 11. It could have taken off the 3 by subtracting. There are all of the options. But you always want to take off as many pieces as you can. Red rolls a 2 and a 5. Again, you can multiply and take off a 10, subtract and take off a 3, but of course we're going to take off the 2 and the 5. As you begin to remove more pieces from the board, the options of just taking off those simple moves becomes harder. Now we have doubles. Perfect. When you roll double, you get double what you roll. So instead of 2 moves of 4, you get 4 moves of 4 by any combination. For example, 3 4s is a 12. You can take off the 12 and still move something to the 4. Or you can, you can move 15 to the 8, that's 2 of your 4 moves, and then take 8 off the board, that's the other 4 moves of 16. What I like to do is also show some of the earlier players you can do this. Take 13 and move it to the 4, that's 1 move. Take it off, that's 2 moves. Take 14 and move it to the 4, that's your third 4 move. Take the 4 from the board, those are your 4 moves, and you've taken 2 pieces off the board. Now it's Red's move. Red rolls a 6 and a 2, and it's going to take off a 6 and move the 15 to the 2 because the 2 is an open space. It could have taken off the 12, it could have taken off the 4 by other math factoring. Blue rolls now, and it rolls double again. Wow. Now this is simple. Because it's 1, you're not going to take the 2 and make it 4 and move something to the 4. You're going to take 15 and move it to the 1, that's 1 move. Take it off, that's your second move. Take 11 and move it to the 1, that's your third move of 1, and take it off, those are 4 moves of 1, doubling. And so with that, now we're going to roll for red and we get a 6 and a 4. With that, you have something on the 4 but nothing on the 6. I would move 13 to the 6 and take off the 4. Now it is blue's roll again, and blue rolls a 6 and a 1. The 6 can easily come off the board, and the 12 is going to move to the 1. Now notice that blue is winning, and red has a lot of pieces on the board, but that doesn't mean they're going to win because you have to roll exactly the number you need to get off the board. That means that red is going to take the 6 off and red is going to take the 2 off. Now we come down to blue. There's your roll of 3 and 1. Let's see here. You can do 1 off the board and move something to the 3, which is the best move. 1 comes off and 10 goes to the 3. We come down and we roll 4 and 5, and red has a 9, nothing on the 4, nothing on the 5. It can take off the 9 or move something to 4 and 5. We're going to move 11 to the 4, 10 to the 4, and 11 to the 5 to get them closer for better rolls that can get them off the board. Blue rolls a 6 and a 7. It has nothing on the 6 and the 7. 6 plus 7 is 13. It has nothing on the 13. 6 out of 7 leaves 1. So there is nothing that can take anything off the board. What you can do is to move a piece to an open space. For example, 9 can go to the 6, and you pass on the 7. Now it's red's roll. Red rolls a 4 and an 8. It can take off the 12 or take off the 4 and move something to the 8. We're going to take off the 12. 8 plus 4 equals 12. Now blue rolls again. We're on the board here for 5 and 8. There's nothing, there's a 5 here, there's not an 8, there's not a 13. I believe the best move would be to take off the 5. That leaves a 6 and 3. Now it's red's roll. 7 and 3. That's a good roll for red. 7 comes off and the 3 comes off. Now we're down closer. Blue now rolls. Blue rolls a 4 and a 6, and it's close to 3, but course, blue is going to take off the 6 and pass on the 4. No, what blue is going to do is move the 3 to the 4, which you can do because it's an open space and it's on the move. Now we will do red. Red has doubles. Wow. Now, again, this is the way you do your moves. You get 4 rows of moves of 8. So 9 is going to go to the 8, that's 1, and take it off, that's 2. 5 is going to go to the 8, that's 3 moves of 8, and take it off, it's the 4 move. And now we're really down to the roll of the tumblers. And this is where all of your math factors need to come into play. 2 and 8. Alrighty. 2 times 8 is 16, 2 plus 8 is 10. 2 from 8 leaves 6, but 2 times 4 equals 8. And blue comes off the board. Blue wins the game. So this is how you play Gammon on the Chexagon board. I want to thank you once again for taking the Chexagon challenge, taking the time to look at the tutorial of the 4 premier games that you can play on the Chexagon board. I'm really excited about this board because I believe it is something that should be in every home, every school. And because the Chexagon checkerboard is a math-oriented checkerboard, it is good for the curriculum in every classroom. I want you to also know that it is a part of the STEM products that we are selling from Foster Johnson, so that when you take the Chexagon board, we put the M in STEM for math. We have already started having tournaments with schools in my area, and at the Red Oak Elementary School in Stockbridge, Georgia. When they went into their 2nd year of having their tournament with other schools that they had invited, they came up with their own t-shirt to play in the tournament. And you can do the same thing. All you have to do is to go to our website at Chexagon.com, and we can give you permission to use whatever markings that we have so that your school can be unique and have a lot of fun as you invite other classes as well as schools to compete with you and your math leagues. I want to thank you so much for everything that you have done so far in learning about Chexagon. So take the opportunity right now and make your purchase today.